Here we go.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to your May 7th, 2020 edition of the TSJG Neighborhood News. We have a lot to go over with you today. So I'm Jessica Lopez, your Executive Director, and I'll be taking you through the current events as of today. First, we wanted to acknowledge the multitude of Zoom invites you've received and to know that we've cleaned that up and allowed for it to be much easier for you in the future. So again, some meeting tips to mute yourself when you're not talking. Just as a reminder, we can see you if your video is on, and we can also hear you if you're not muted, so don't follow suit with the Supreme Court as they mistakenly didn't realize they were being heard during their deliberations. So you will not be receiving multiple invites any longer. We're going to send all our invitation through email. Previous to this, we had been sending it in an email, but through Microsoft Outlook, which made it a meeting maker invite. This will be a direct email with an identifier in the subject line, the meeting ID and password in the body of the email, along with the direct link. So it'll provide you two ways of joining the meeting. So as you can see on the screen, the meeting identifier will be in the subject line. These will all be sent from Michelle. The link is identified in a bold and different color from the rest of the text, so you should be able to just click that button, that link, and it'll take you directly to our Zoom call. Or else you can join by phone by dialing in through your telephone and entering the meeting ID and password. And this is what it would look like on an email. There is another link that you could join where you just click on www.zoom.us, and again you would just be taken to the Zoom website where again you would put the meeting ID and password and be able to connect to our Zoom calls. And this is what it would look like once you joined the zoom.us website. Our COVID update for today. So in Fresno County, as of last evening, there was a total of 777 cases in Fresno County for COVID-19. Of those cases, 44 are travel related. So you can see at the beginning, they were all travel related, and now they've all left that travel related area and gone to close contact at 302 or community spread 293. 139 of those cases are still under investigation, which means they're trying to do contact tracing to determine how it was acquired. The total deaths in Fresno County from COVID are 9. The individuals ever hospitalized are 114. About 263 folks have recovered that we know of, so that had tested positive for COVID. There might be many others who have recovered that we were not aware of. The total number of individuals being monitored by the Fresno County Department of Public Health to date is 2,215. The current numbers being monitored are 595. They have processed and received almost 9,000 test results. So they're still remaining very active in their overall testing compared to total number of cases. Here at the terraces at San Joaquin Gardens, our COVID-19 update as of today, we have 0 total positive cases and 0 total persons under investigation or PUI cases. So again, that would be any resident or team member that they're typically symptomatic and being tested for COVID. We would classify them as a PUI until we determined the results of that COVID test. So we monitor and track all PUIs and of course all positive cases. So right now, no COVID activity and no investigations in terms of determining if there's possible COVID activity. Overall in California, as of May 2nd on our weekly call, there's about 52,000 total cases. As you can see, of those total cases, again, this disease is morphing and changing itself as it goes along and as we learn more about it, but that 18 to 49 category is the predominant number of where impacted individuals are lying at over 25,000 cases. About 11,000 of those cases are 65 plus. So total hospitalized in California is 3,400. Those in the ICU is 1178. That ICU bed number, both California and our local county monitors really closely because they want to make sure they have enough ICU beds and ventilators. That was the whole purpose of flattening the curve, was to make sure we didn't run out of ICU beds and ventilator equipment, which California's done a great job of flattening that curve. And then 2,100 fatalities for the state of California. And this is, again, the numbers as of May 1st. So we continue to look at how we track those cases and how we compare ourselves to other states. So again, when you look at California's population, we still sit far below New York. I have a friend who has been working in Sacramento closely with the governor in kind of the incident command space there at the governor's office, and he is very focused on protecting the California population, not seeing a New York, a repeat of what happened in New York happened here in California. So it has been continuing to try to stay ahead with flattening that curve. Our tallies do continue to climb. Over the past week, the state has averaged 1,600 new cases and 70 new deaths per day, but we are still not getting hit as hard as some of those other equally populous states like New York. Nursing homes, assisted livings, and skilled nursings, populations like that still continue to be a great focus point by the state because, obviously they want to protect those populations, which they've done a great job of enacting requirements to do so. So you see that we really haven't peaked. We're not trending up. That curve still, that blue curve there in the middle of your screen there shows in Fresno, this is specific to Fresno, we're seeing cases doubling every 14.7 days, and that's the whole curve we're tracking. So it really has stayed relatively flat for the last week or so. Some questions came to me from residents about antibody testing, and so I wanted to share this. So there is currently, I believe, 7 different strands of coronavirus, and that's why this antibody testing isn't something that you're really seeing CDC recommend that people do. The chance that a positive antibody test is wrong is about 85%, and so it gives that false sense of protection. There's also cases now in other countries where people have had the COVID virus up to 3 times, 3 different occasions, because of those different virus strands. So, again, that antibody test, there might be some antibodies, but that doesn't mean that you couldn't get COVID again. So until they perfect that test and until they really isolate those strands, the idea of running out and getting that antibody test is really a moot point at this point because of the likelihood that it is not accurate. Other questions that we've heard about is to test or not to test. That's the question. So should I go get tested? So again, the CDC is still recommending the highest priority are hospitalized patients with symptoms. We see that every day and here at San Joaquin Gardens as our wellness team coordinates with St. Agnes and the other local hospitals, that they are prioritizing the testing of those folks, especially those that are going to come back to a congregate setting. So we are seeing testing on almost all residents that go to the hospital, both with or without symptoms, interestingly enough. So the reason they're doing it without symptoms is because of the congregate setting that they reside in here at San Joaquin Gardens, but everybody symptomatic is getting tested. They also are prioritizing healthcare workers, which is not a surprise, and first responders. The priority will always be individuals with symptoms of COVID-19, including, again, those symptoms: fever, cough, shortness of breath, chills, muscle pain, new loss of taste or smell, vomiting or diarrhea, or sore throat. Somebody without symptoms may be prioritized by their physician or the health department for many reasons, including they're being monitored by public health surveillance, most likely because they had contact with a known COVID carrier. But those are really the main reasons that someone non-symptomatic would be tested at this juncture, would be having interaction or close contact with someone that was a COVID carrier. So at this point, you're always welcome to contact your primary care physician to ask about testing if you so desire. But it really, you most likely might get turned down unless you are symptomatic or there is a reason to have that test. And as I keep telling individuals, the testing itself only means that in that moment you are COVID free. That could change the very next day. So my concern when I hear people saying, oh, I want to go get tested, is the false sense of security that it provides, that an individual may lessen their precautions in terms of physical distancing, hand washing, wearing masks, which are all so essential regardless of that test outcome. If you were so inclined and you wanted to get a test, again, you're welcome to do that. Human Good is looking into getting a contract with labs in order for the entire organization to help us with testing, but that still doesn't mean we would do mass testing. We are not allowed to test a resident or a team member unless we have a physician's order or direction from the Department of Health. So I couldn't decide that tomorrow all residents are going to be tested for COVID. I would need to have physician's orders and or direction from the Department of Health. If you as an individual wanted to get a test, you could certainly contact your primary care physician, or there are testing areas such as the new Fresno City College testing site, Optum in Sanger, and Adventist Health. Again, they will, even though they're advertising, that anybody can come in and get tested, the testing kits are still not completely readily available. So they are not going to test, most likely, non-symptomatic individuals who have not had direct exposure. They will still prioritize, obviously, symptomatic individuals first, those with exposure, and then they might do testing beyond that. As many of you noted in the local news, Fresno County's shelter-in-place guidelines have been extended through May 31st. Fresno Mayor Lee Brand announced last Friday that the city's shelter-in-place order will extend through May 31st. The biggest change in that is that it's asking residents to wear masks. This requirement is to protect workers and customers during the COVID-19 pandemic. So the Fresno County order is that we should wear masks when we are out and about, especially at essential workplaces, to protect others. This emergency order also added a third category of authorized businesses, which are in addition to the essential business, such as what San Joaquin Gardens is. So as many of you have seen, the governor is looking at allowing some additional authorized businesses to begin operating as soon as tomorrow. So Sacramento, as the state, as part of their 4-stage framework, we are moving out of stage 1 for the state of California into stage 2. So the modification of the stay-at-home order will be announced Friday, May 8th. The guidelines are indicating that, again, an additional amount of businesses will be allowed to reopen. And the reason behind that is that we have made significant progress in fighting COVID-19 and flattening that curve. We've seen a significant stabilization in the hospitals and the number of ICU beds available, and we have a good number of PPE in place for the state of California should we need it. So what is COVID-19's impact on Human Good been? Well, we've seen a material slowing of residential living sales. Alexis was on a call today that was projecting the pipeline and the reduction in entrance fees that we will see for the remainder of 2020 during because of the lack of sales activity we've been able to do as an organization. Human Good is currently about $8 million behind where they should be in their first quarter. And for TSJG specifically, we have not only seen a slowing of residential living sales and a diminishing of our pipeline for residential living, but we have seen a 20% drop in our skilled nursing occupancy, which on an annual basis would result in a revenue loss of close to $2 million. So I'll share more about that momentarily, but that was our biggest financial impact, which again was behind a lot of our decisions regarding our labor. So for our village, which is it is experiencing the most dramatic impact from COVID-19, we are currently 9 below our village budgeted census. That doesn't sound like a lot when I say 9 below, but every available accommodation represents a loss of revenue of at least $15,000 per month. So our current projected loss for this month, when I did the numbers, because our average was about 10 below, was $165,000 loss for the month, or $1.9 million annually. Our current census still is 10 below our full occupancy at 42. And you can see kind of how that breaks down right there. But the good news is that hospital activity is beginning to increase, which will directly impact our village census. So our 70% occupancy in our village directly correlates with the occupancy seen in community hospitals and in St. Agnes Hospital. So St. Agnes Hospital and Community Hospital have announced that they're going to start doing between 10 to 25% of their normal elective surgeries starting this month. Some will begin as early as next week. So they are starting to do these elective surgeries, which will allow for a greater population in the hospital setting, which then will move on to a skilled nursing setting. St. Agnes is our largest referral agent within our local hospitals, so that we've been tracking their census quite closely and following their census and elective surgery activity, as we know it will impact our financials as well. One of the things I didn't talk greatly about, but I know was reviewed with John Cochran's letter to you all, is the 7.5-hour workday, which will be our new normal for our team. By reducing these hours for our team members, it will allow our community to, I think the figure was not lay off 165 individuals across Human Good. I have to say our team has been amazing at receiving this news. There really was no pushback whatsoever. And the benefit of that isn't just that half an hour of savings in expense a day, but it really is going to allow us to minimize the incremental overtime, which represents about 30% of our overtime costs as an organization. So that's why many organizations use a 37.5-hour work week as a best practice in order to reduce those overtime costs, which can grow quite monumental. So the team is on board and understands that that will be our new normal in the future as a way of producing cost savings for our residents overall. As we talked about earlier this week, we have done furloughs as an organization, which is a temporary change in someone's work status until that normal work becomes available again. So again, we are not doing layoffs, we're doing furloughs. And many of you already know that many of departments were affected at San Joaquin Gardens by these temporary furloughs, including our village health center, administration, finance, assisted living, our salon, activities, laundry, transportation, housekeeping, and concierge. And again, those furloughs are necessary to offset the revenue loss that we are currently experiencing from our village and will be experiencing for quite some time from residential living census. A lot of residents have emailed asking me, when will we go back to quote unquote normal? And what I'd like you to know is that Human Good has created an environmental design and infection control team. What they are doing is looking at redesigning things for the future. They are not looking to return to exactly the way things were or remake the old. We're designing a new service model that thrives in this new normal. This will be a constantly evolving situation, And this may change or switch because of becoming a COVID positive active campus, or because we have new technology available to us. Our plan at Human Good is to create standards for Human Good to unwind restrictions. We will stay updated with governmental laws, regulations, and guidance, but please plan on us moving at a much slower pace because of our population, because we want to be conservative in our efforts and not pose unnecessary risk to our residents and our team members. We will be much slower than the overall states or overall counties in unwinding these restrictions. So more to come about that, but to let you know that we do have a committee that is formed, and its sole purpose is to look at how we create this new normal for the resident experience at our life plan communities such as San Joaquin Gardens. Some of these committees underneath the environmental design and infection control team are returning back to the office. What dining will look like in our new normal, having visitors on campus, and creating safe opportunities for resident socialization. So those are the committees and the individuals that will be heading up those committees, which you can see I'm on a few of them. Our sales team continues to keep quite busy, and they have new technology that they are utilizing to stay in contact and connect with their prospects. So Alexis, is there anything you would like to share before I play your video?
The only thing I would share is that this is a very early phase of this. So they'll get better and they'll be more creative. But this was just a short tidbit. We're learning each day how to use this on our campus and then eventually include residents in testimonials. So we look forward to getting better and showcasing that for you.
So this is a technology that Alexis and the sales team, it's an app that are on their phones that they can use to create videos very easily that would add titles, music, allow for personal messages, and so much more, but all of them would be branded with the Human Good logo, etc. So here's a brief demonstration of the One Day app.
Hi residents, Alexis here in the sales office. Just wanted to give you a sneak peek of our new One Day app. We're able to record videos just like this and go out on our beautiful grounds and show virtual walkways and go inside apartments and show those off as well. It's a really fun tool. Of course, we're getting better. Videography was not my major, but definitely looking forward to showcasing TSJG and sharing it with those that want to be here who are not here yet. So we appreciate all the help we get from all of you, the waves, the suggestions on the best shot. So thank you so much from a few of you who've done that. And we definitely look forward to sharing more of these videos with you. Hope you enjoy.
I will say, since that video was shot, I learned how to run music through the whole video, so you don't hear the wind and cars, which is quite nice.
Thank you. So we'll continue to showcase more of this tool. We are actually looking at using the One Day app across the board for filming videos for our residents that we would showcase on Touchtown. Showing fitness videos, different activities using this app So more to come on that. In lifestyle enrichment, want to remind you of social support with Nancy Jen via Zoom. Please sign up by Friday, May 8th. We are limiting 8 residents. It will begin Sunday, May 10th at 1 p.m. And again, if more than 8 residents are interested, we will create more Zoom meetings. So don't step back and not want to sign up because you want to give the opportunity to others. We will make sure that everybody gets an opportunity to enjoy this social support experience where residents can share their feelings, thoughts, concerns, and struggles they may be facing during this time of sheltering in place. So this will be a small, intimate group of residents that will be hosted by Nancy Jen. So again, sign up by May 8th by calling the concierge at 430-8223. Is that the concierge? No, that's somebody else's number, but they will answer. As a big reminder, tomorrow, May 8th, is Aloha Friday. So team members will be coming around dressed in their best luau attire, serving tropical concoctions door to door. So grab your Hawaiian shirt and your grass skirt and join us on your porch or your balcony and say aloha to your neighbors, do the hula, have a good time, because every day is a party and a beach at San Joaquin Gardens. Mother's Day, May 10th, a big reminder that we have our parades that will be happening throughout the campus. Again, please call the Connect line to RSVP for parade participation at 430-8216. All individuals must RSVP by tomorrow at 5 p.m. so that we can have you on the approved checklist at the screening tent. For the safety of your loved ones and all of our residents, your guests must remain in their vehicle at all times, but they can decorate their vehicle, make signs, sing songs, joyful noises, honking their horn as a wonderful way to honor their mother this Mother's Day, May 10th. These parades will happen between 10 and 3 p.m. We'd ask that you stay on the sidewalk so that you don't get hurt, but we look forward to enjoying that time with all of you. I think thus far we had, I can't remember, it was 22 cars signed up, I believe.
It's about 27 cars now.
Yeah. 27 cars, thank you, Alexis. So 27 vehicles have already registered with us that they will be parading through campus. So if your family members have not yet RSVP'd, please encourage them to do so, and they can celebrate Mother's Day with you via parade. What's going on in our dining department? So I made a typo there. It is sjgdining@humangood.org, so not the T, for our dining managers, which will include Mike Shackelford, Anna Garrett, and Sandy Garcia. So we'll correct that before we put it on Touchtown and advertise it in the Garden News. But you can email our dining team at sjgdining@humangood.org, or we've all finally figured out how to spell Mike's last name, and it's there for you. Mike Shackelford at humangood.org can be reached for all of your comments, and we appreciate all the kudos that have been pouring in about last night's dinner, this afternoon's hot dog. So thank you for those kudos. The dining team is in really, really good spirits. They're really excited about all the positivity that's been heading their way. So a big thank you to Boyd yesterday during resident council for really inspiring our residents to be encouragers here at San Joaquin Gardens, and specifically around our dining team. That was a beautiful message. I shared it verbally with the dining team last night, and I will share the recorded Zoom call with them so that they can hear it firsthand. But a big thank you to all of our residents for that, and we would encourage you to continue to give that feedback to us. Our luau on this Friday, May 8th, we've changed our lunch so it can be on theme with our Hawaiian day. So we'll be serving tropical fruit salad, teriyaki chicken, steamed rice, steamed vegetables, sweet roll, and pineapple upside down cake. So on lunch for Friday will be luau inspired, and we hope that you enjoy this special day that we have put together for you. Again, Mother's Day is May 10th. We already talked about the parade, but we wanted to also let you know what the menu for that day will be. So our Mother's Day menu will include starters will be a shrimp cocktail, apricot baked brie, and golden beet salad. The entrees will be a surf and turf, salmon and petite beef fillet. The side dishes will be steamed carrots and spring onions along with Duchess potatoes. And desserts will be assorted desserts and petite fours and champagne. This will be 18 My Choice points. This will be our lunch for that day. So many residents are opting to receive dinner only. Anna and Chef Mike wanted me to make sure that if anybody wants to have lunch this day, to please call dining so that they can make sure that you get this special meal for the day. So anybody that is not signed up for lunch that wants to sign up for lunch, please let us know as soon as possible so that we can make sure that you get to enjoy this special menu on this very special Mother's Day. Our buildings and grounds continues to be working hard here at San Joaquin Gardens. One of the things they're doing is, as you see in the forecast, it is heating up in Fresno. It wouldn't be May unless we got close to triple digits. And the maintenance team has been servicing all of our HVAC units throughout the campus to make sure they're ready to go as we enter into our summer months and you prepare for that summer heat. In fact, I had the thought and I texted Brian saying, hey, it's warming up, make sure you are on top of this. And he sent me this photo just to remind me that he's always 5 steps ahead of me, which I deeply appreciate. As you might have seen on Fresno Street, the grounds team is working hard to continue to ensure our grounds remain beautiful and installed new sod all along Fresno Street. So it looks quite nice and we're watering it quite heavily to ensure that it takes. And we will continue to seed and grow that. But if you haven't taken a walk or driven out of campus, make sure to keep an eye for that and to look at our new green sod along Fresno Street. Every cloud has a silver lining, so always look for the silver lining and try to find the sunny side of life. So we're trying to do everything we can to keep everybody cool, calm, and collected during this time of sheltering in place. So Cinco de Mayo 2020 looked a little different this year in terms of the masked faces, but the ambiance, joy, and sheer ability for us to embarrass ourselves did not diminish. So we continue to find a way to spread some joy and some tequila during this time. And all of you should have received those refreshments at your door. Rick apparently took the bottle with him and enjoyed the rest in his apartment. But we are so grateful to, maybe Blue drank it, I'm not sure. But we're grateful to our team for continuing to find creative ways to celebrate every possible holiday and to try to spread joy and fun however they can. And I thought in particular the mustaches on the masks really made the outfits. But we had music playing and decorations, and it was a fun time had by all. So a busy week for us this week with Cinco de Mayo, the Luau, and Mother's Day. I think we're trying to give dining more than they can handle, and they keep rising to the occasion. So more residents enjoying their concoctions for Cinco de Mayo. It's hard to drink through your masks, I found. Please don't cut a hole in them or it will defeat the purpose. But we do hope you enjoyed all of your margaritas for Cinco de Mayo. In May, we continue to want to honor those May babies and celebrate their birthdays. So let's take the time to call each other and wish each other the happiest of birthdays. For our upcoming week, we have Elaine Silverman, who has a birthday on May 8th. Diane McKelvey, celebrating a birthday on May 11th. Julie Harder, celebrating a birthday on May 12th. And an honorary resident, Dominic Lopez, turning 4, also on May 11th. In case you didn't realize, it is Nurses Day /week, which is May 6th through 12th. So thank you to everyone for turning in your thank you note cards. We continue to accept these note cards for the remainder of the week. Sherry Hardy made lovely gifts for Nurse Binder and Nurse Valerie. She actually made those flowers out of toilet paper and then gave each of them their very own roll of toilet paper, because that is the most coveted gift during this time. So a big thank you to all of our nurses, but Valerie is on the call, I believe. So a big thank you to Valerie for her clinical expertise and all that she does for us. And if there's any other nurses on the call, past, present, or present, we thank you and we wish you a happy Nurses Day. So some of our nursing team received cookies and brownies and other celebratory gifts as we honored all of them for Nurses Week, because we do love our nurses. We want to encourage you to continue to hunt for the gnome. So again, the gnome was placed in a new location somewhere in our community. When you find it, please call the Connect line at 430-8216 and tell them where you saw it so that you can be placed in the raffle. We want you to have fun and happy hunting. The gnome has been spotted in the Milano South Garden by Minnie. The winner for this location is Carol
Tikvitsa.
All right, in Tuscany 266B. So a big congratulations to Carol. She was our winner for our first drawing of the Hunt for the Gnome. Today the gnome is on the move. So again, we encourage you to look for that gnome and call the Connect line so that you can be next week's winner of our raffle prize. And as a friendly reminder, please do not remove the gnome from its location so that everybody can participate in the hunting fun. We have a special video to show all of you. This is the terraces at San Joaquin Gardens, a ray of sunshine for the days ahead. We tested this prior to the call, so we're hoping it goes over well, but I want to let everyone know that we will be posting this video directly on Touchtown for your viewing ease, in which case it will be completely synced up and not spotty in terms of the viewing content. So it will not be this version on Touchtown. It'll be a nice clean version, but when you try to show videos via Zoom, they sometimes off-sync themselves and turn a little spotty in terms of the visual content and the hearing content, but we're gonna give this a shot. So this was produced by the Home Office. It was actually the mother of the sales director in one of our Pennsylvania communities, has friends who star on Broadway. He volunteered his time free of charge to sing this for Human Good only, and she wrote the lyrics to the song. So this was done with no cost associated to Human Good, and they personalized this video for each of their communities. So without further ado, here is the inaugural presentation of the terraces at San Joaquin Gardens, a ray of sunshine for the days ahead. No, it didn't do it. Hold on.
Good. Yeah. Leave your coat and leave your heart. Stay inside and don't go shopping. Read and watch TV. A little exercise works for me. Stay in touch with kids and friends. It's a happy way to spend time. Think of all you'd like to do when this epidemic is through. We will move on with our lives, so strong the supply. The world will be fine. This virus will be behind us, so have faith and don't lose hope. Human good is there beside you. Life will again be sweet on the sunny side of the street. We will move on with our lives, so strong we survive. The world will be fine. This virus will be behind us, so have faith and don't lose heart. Feeling good is there beside you. Life will again be sweet on the sunny side of the street.
I hope you guys could see and hear that well, but if not, it will be up for all of your viewing pleasure on Touchtown. With that, we will go ahead and stop the recording and open it up for questions.